You are sitting in your driveway at 4:12 a.m., the engine of your 10-year-old sedan ticking as it cools down in the freezing autumn air. You stare at the dashboard clock, your hands gripping the cracked leather of the steering wheel. You are a senior biohazard technician for a municipal crime scene cleanup crew, and your take-home pay is exactly $4,166 a month. Your mortgage is $1,850. Your husband filed for divorce 6 months ago, leaving you with sole custody of your 8-year-old daughter and a mountain of legal fees. Your daughter requires specialized occupational therapy that your insurance provider recently classified as elective, costing $3,450 out of pocket every single month. You have spent countless sleepless nights staring at glowing spreadsheets, trying to balance an equation that always ends in the negative. The math doesn't work. It never did. That is when the encrypted burner phone resting in your cup holder vibrates. It is a phone you found inside your locked glove box 2 days ago, placed there by someone who bypassed your car alarm without leaving a single scratch. You answer it. The synthesized voice on the other end does not ask if you are looking for supplemental income. The voice casually recites your home address. It mentions the faulty lock on your back patio door. It notes that your daughter takes the yellow school bus and steps off at the corner of Elm and Maple at exactly 3:15 p.m. every weekday. The offer is not a question, it is a lifeline disguised as a threat. They need a specialist to sanitize a compromised location, and they will wire an on-time consultation fee of $85,000 to a secure offshore escrow account the moment the job is verified. You look at the dark window of your daughter's bedroom. You think about the therapy bills, you take the job. You tell yourself it is just one time, just a temporary measure to fix the failing arithmetic of your life, but the door you walk through doesn't open from the inside. You are now an independent contractor for people who do not have names, only routing numbers and encrypted signals. You are standing in the center of a penthouse suite in downtown Chicago, 80 floors above the sleeping city. The ambient temperature in the room is set to exactly 68 degrees Fahrenheit to slow the rate of biological decomposition. There is a body resting on the imported Italian hardwood floor, but you do not look at the face. Faces are variables, and you only deal in constants. The distance between you and the blood is measured in 7 mils of blue nitrile rubber, the thickness of the heavy-duty gloves pulled tight over your hands. You are encased in a seamless hooded Tyvek suit, the wrists and ankles wrapped tight with chemical-resistant tape. Your breathing is filtered through a P100 half-mask respirator that tastes faintly of charcoal and rubber. The scene is catastrophic. The operative who handled the elimination used a .50 BMG armor-piercing incendiary round. The projectile overpenetrated the target, shattered a reinforced floor-to-ceiling window, and embedded itself deep inside the load-bearing concrete pillar across the room. You do not wonder why someone required antimaterial ordnance to solve a human problem. You do not ask questions about the dead man's debts or his sins. The product isn't violence, the product is silence. You open your reinforced Pelican cases and begin the mathematics of erasure. Standard household bleach is a liability. It leaves behind a distinct olfactory signature and fails to break down complex proteins at a molecular level. You activate a portable heating element and bring a proprietary enzymatic solvent up to exactly 104 degrees Fahrenheit, the optimal temperature to dissolve coagulated human tissue. You apply the heated solvent using an electrostatic sprayer, coating the hardwood, the baseboards, and the shattered glass. You wait exactly 14 minutes for the chemical reaction to peak. Then you switch to a 12.5% industrial sodium hypochlorite solution, heavily modified with an alkaline foaming agent, so that it clings perfectly to the vertical surface of the concrete pillar. You scrub the concrete with a firm nylon brush, counting the strokes, watching the dark crimson fade into a pale soapy pink and then into nothing. You use a HEPA-filtered wet vacuum to extract the liquefied organic matter, trapping it inside a double-lined 6 ml polyethylene biohazard containment bag. You move like a machine, your heart rate never rising above 80 beats per minute. You extract the shattered copper jacket of the .5 BMG round from the pillar using non-conductive ceramic tweezers, ensuring you leave no metallic transfer marks that a forensic metallurgist could later identify. You patch the concrete with a rapid-curing epoxy resin, sand it perfectly flush in the dark, and apply a coat of primer matched precisely to the hex code of the surrounding paint. Every surface is wiped down, every fiber of the rug that absorbed the initial impact is cut away and incinerated. But your eyes are notoriously unreliable witnesses in the dark. Trust is a commodity nobody can afford, especially not trust in your own senses. You kill the overhead lights and pull a heavy military-grade 395 nanometer ultraviolet flashlight from your utility belt. You sweep the beam across the room. The floor illuminates. You look for the telltale bright white fluorescence of biological fluids. You spot a microscopic cluster of spatter high on the ceiling, a mist of organic material invisible to the naked eye. You erect a lightweight aluminum scaffolding in silence, climb to the top, and wipe the ceiling down with a sponge soaked in accelerated hydrogen peroxide. When the physical space is entirely devoid of organic material, you set up an industrial ozone generator in the center of the room. You seal the door behind you with masking tape and let the machine run for exactly 2 hours, flooding the penthouse with O3 gas to neutralize the airborne scent of copper, gunpowder, and death. You pack the polyethylene bags into a 55-gallon high-density drum, load it into the back of an unmarked cargo van, and drive 300 miles into the rural Midwest. You pull into a private medical waste facility at 3:15 a.m., handing the night manager a manila envelope containing $5,000 in unmarked, non-sequential $20 bills. He turns his back, smokes a cigarette, and listens to the heavy thrum of the incinerator burning your cargo at 5,800 degrees Fahrenheit. The job is flawless. The money clears the offshore escrow account within an hour. You pay for your daughter's therapy in cash. You sleep deeply. That is the trap of perfection. It makes you arrogant. It makes you believe you are in control of the machine. 6 months later, you are sitting in your living room, watching your daughter draw at the kitchen table, when the encrypted phone vibrates. It is the same synthesized voice, but the cadence is different, colder, faster. They inform you that there has been a complication at the Chicago penthouse. The property was sold, and the new owners hired a private contracting firm to renovate the master bedroom. When the contractors pulled up the imported Italian hardwood, they found something. During your extraction of the biological material, a microscopic pool of diluted blood and solvent had seeped under the trim. It was a drop no larger than a tear, but it found a 1 centimeter gap in the subfloor, just 1 centimeter of wood. That is the 1 centimeter mistake that ends your life. The wood fibers absorbed the fluid through capillary action, pulling the DNA deep into the grain where the ozone and the bleach could not reach it. A contractor noticed the stain. He thought it was black mold. He called an inspector. The inspector called the police. The police scraped the wood, ran the sequence, and hit a match on the cartel's missing accountant. The syndicate is now exposed, and the syndicate does not tolerate loose ends. You have exactly 20 minutes to disappear. You walk into the kitchen, looking at your daughter's drawings taped to the refrigerator. You cannot take her with you. If you take her, they will track her school records, her medical prescriptions, her digital footprint. She is the anchor that will drag you down into the deep water. The only way to keep her alive is to vanish completely, to become a ghost, and pray they do not punish the ghost's family. You pack a single duffel bag with forged identification documents, $200,000 in bundled cash, and a sterilized pistol. You walk out the front door into the freezing night, leaving the engine of your sedan cold. You walk 3 miles to a bus station, your chest hollowed out, your breathing shallow. You realize the magnitude of what you have done. You have left a mother-sized hole in your family, a profound and permanent void in your daughter's life, all because you thought you could outsmart the brutal arithmetic of poverty. Now years have passed. You are living in a damp cinder-block room in a country where you do not speak the language. You spend your days watching the door, jumping at the sound of footsteps in the hallway. You check the 1 centimeter gap under your own door 50 times a night. You realize that you were never a master of the craft. You were just a mop pushing dirt from one corner of the world to another. You were expendable, replaceable. And the most terrifying truth of all settles into your bones as you stare at the peeling paint on the wall. Somewhere right now, a woman is sitting in her driveway at 4:12 a.m., staring at a dashboard clock, drowning in debt. An encrypted phone is ringing in her cup holder. The cycle is already restarting, and she is about to answer the call. That's a wrap. The story is fiction, but forensic fixers are real. Right now, somewhere, a room is being scrubbed with industrial bleach, and a 395 nanometer light while the rest of the city sleeps. If this made you think, drop a comment and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.